In this video we will be going through a 6-2 volleyball rotation with a 4-person serve-receive. Let's go. Beginning with some basics. Teams often divide their side of the court into 6 zones to depict certain areas and divide and conquer when in play. In our demonstration, the net is depicted by the dotted line in the middle. The solid line on either side of the court is the 3-meter line, also called the attack line. This line is the divide between front and back court players in rotation. From here, 2 more imaginary lines divide the court into 6 sections. The back right of the court is Zone 1. Front right is Zone 2. Middle front is Zone 3. Front left is Zone 4. Back left is Zone 5. And finally 6 is middle back. The zones are numbered in a counterclockwise fashion. Now to determine a player's position on the court. Depending on the zone that a player is in, they are bounded by the players adjacent to them. Thus, staying in rotation before the ball is put into play. Player in Zone 1 must stay behind the player in Zone 2, while being on the right of the player in 6. Player in 6 must stay in between the players in 1 and 5 while being behind the player in 3. Player in 5 is to stay to the left of 6 and behind 4. 4 will have to stay in front of 5 and to the left of 3. 3 is bounded in the middle by 4 and 2, while staying in front of 6. And lastly, player in 2 will have to stay to the right of the player in 3 while staying in front of the player in Zone 1. Now to put our specialized players into each position. A 6-2 will mean we will always have a back row setter, giving everyone the opportunity to attack when in front row. For our demonstration, the rotation will be depicted by where our setter is on the court. Starting with rotation 1. Across from our back row setter is our front row setter, who will act as a hitter until they reach back row. Following our setters will be the outside hitters, also known as the powers. Following the powers will be the middles. This order of player placement can be referred as PSM as the power follows the setter. Another method would be to have the middle follow the setter, which we have covered in another video. This order ensures that we have one front row and one back row player in their specialized positions as we rotate. If ever confused of where you are in rotation, recall who served, know that power follows setter and players that play the same position are always across from one another to find your solution. After every rally, players will reset back to where they were in rotation to prepare for serve-receive or rotate clockwise if they regain possession of the serve. Rotating through all 6 positions can be seen as follows. Once the ball is served and put into play, the boundaries that restrict the rotation of the players is lifted and players can move freely. Next concept we need to understand before diving into serve-receive is the concept of switching into defense. Whenever the ball goes over the net into the opponent's side, given time, players want to switch into their specialized areas of the court to prepare to defend against the opponent's attacks, and potentially converting defense into efficient offense, such as left sides to the left side of the court, middles in the middle and right side to the right of the court. For our demonstration, we make some assumptions since players are free to move to any part of the court. Implementation can vary according to team needs and tactics. Our assumptions will include powers playing in Zone 6 and middles playing Zone 5 in back row. A libero will not be demonstrated here but can be implemented to replace a back row player as needed. Here we depict a serve-receive in rotation 1 without formation. Passing the ball over in 1 contact. Once the ball goes over the net and is still in play, players wanted to switch into their specialized areas of the court. Terms such as switching, going into base or home positions, and initial defensive positions, IDP in short, all mean go into defense. If your team has possession of the serve, once it goes over you immediately switch into defense. Now we are ready to dive into our serve-receive formations. General assumptions made in this demonstration is that we do not want our setter to purposely take the first contact as they would ideally want the second ball. We will always have the powers be a part of the 4-person serve-receive. Once again, a libero will not be shown here but if desired, one can take out a back row player without substitution. Rotation 1. Here to hide our setter, front row power can step back and pass. Right side will do the same. In doing so, we have form a four-person cup serve receive. Meanwhile, front row middle prepares for attack or covers short serves. Once the ball is contacted on the serve, the setter can move in front of the power and pursue the ball from one of the passers. If either the power or right side need to take the first contact, they will do so, then transition into attack preparation. This is the one opportunity for the right side to hit from the left side. While the power attacks from the opposite pin. Middle will slot into their track to hit. Once the ball goes over. Switch. They will play the ball until the rally is over and a team scores a point. An alternative, and simpler way of hiding our setter in rotation 1, is to have them push our front row power up to the net. Middle will step over and fill the role of a passer in this case, making sure they are to the left of the front row power and in front of the back row middle. This can be adjusted according to team needs, while abiding to rotation rules. Rotation 6. Having rotated one spot, the setter is now in the middle of the back court. To hide them from the first contact, we will have them push up towards the net, creating a stack with our right side player. Front row power and front row middle will step back to create our four-person cup serve receive. Once the serve is contacted, right side will transition to hit from the right side, while the setter pursues the second ball. If either one of the front row power or middle need to pass the first ball, they will do so, then proceed to their specialized attacking positions. From here we have 3 attack options. Once the ball goes over. Switch. Rotation 5. Now in zone 5, the setter will push the middle up to the net and hide themselves from the first contact, creating a stack on the left side of the court. Front row power would like to hit left side, so we will have them step back and towards the left side of the court but making sure they are still to the right of the front row middle. Right side will step back and help form our four-person cup serve receive. Once the serve is contacted, the setter pursues the second ball. After the setter leaves, the front row middle can slot into their track to prepare to hit. If either one of the front row power or right side need to pass the first ball, they will do so, then proceed to their specialized attacking positions. From here we have 3 attack options. Once the ball goes over. Switch. Rotations 4, 3 and 2. We have successfully rotated through half the rotation. Players specializing in the same position should now have traded spots from front row to back row and vice versa from where we started in rotation 1. Since we always have a back row setter, our player previously playing right side will now be in charge of setting the second ball. Therefore their counterpart will now hit and identify as our right side. Understanding that, we repeat the same 3 formations as 1, 6 and 5. From here we go back to rotation 1 and repeat. Sequence of hiding your setter will start from the right side of the court to the left side of the court. First stacking the power on the right side of the court. In the center of the court, the stack will be with the right side. Finally, stacking with the middle on the left side of the court. Then, repeat. Hope you enjoyed this video and learned the foundation to a 6-2 system. Go out and practice with your team. For more videos about other systems to meet your team needs and change up your tactics, check out our other system tutorials. Stay volleying.